Hey y'all. It's the Wise Speaks. Maybe. I feel like I haven't done that in a while. I have smoke coming up. I don't smoke, so don't think that I'm smoking. Got my little incense going. But I told y'all I was coming at y'all with a relationship video. I'm coming at y'all in the bonnet. We are getting so vulnerable. Y'all are my friends for real. We here with it. You know what I'm saying? So I done came to give you tips. So I call it like tips from a hopeless romantic who found love. Yes, I found love. Yes, he gave me a promise ring. Yes, y'all have seen it before. And yeah, I was always the hopeless romantic. And then I found someone who gave me everything that I give and expect in a relationship with no telling. I didn't have to tell him anything. Of course, we had to like grow and figure out how to love each other. That's like any relationship, but I never had to. He just do stuff. He just does things because his sole purpose is to make me happy. You know what I'm saying? So, here are just some tips that I've like seen or had to figure out the hard way through dating and being in toxic situationships and toxic relationships and stuff like that, which some y'all have already heard of. And yeah, so let's get into the first thing. Number one, and I have my stuff on my laptop right here. So you have to love yourself first. That is top of the list. None of these aren't in order or anything, but yeah, you just have to love yourself first. And I think people have this idea that in order to love yourself, you have to go above and beyond and do the all these extravagant, but really it lies in the small things like showering every day, oiling up your body, doing your makeup, putting on that bomb ass outfit, taking yourself out, staying at home. All of that is self-love. And you wouldn't dress up, cook, put on makeup for someone you didn't like. So knowing that you do that for you, you have to know even that is self-love. There's self-love in there. Number 2, you get to know yourself way more than you might be expecting. In a relationship, you think that you're going to spend a great deal of time getting to know the other person, which you will, but you have to know and be prepared to get to know yourself. Someone is going to be next to you holding up a mirror. Can you stomach that? Do you do that with you? Do you stand and look at the man in the mirror and, because a lot of introspection is going to come from being in a relationship, especially a healthy one. You have to accept and know that for everything that you dislike in your partner, there's probably one thing that they dislike about you. And so it's a matter of learning that, accepting that, and working through that. And everyone has flaws. So the big thing with modern relationships is that everyone feels like they can run away because social media has showed us that there's a whole world out there full of people, and the next best thing is right around the corner, which in some cases is true. But like when you find somebody that you have a rare connection with, you can't just be so ready to up and leave. So when you're dating around, it's easy to skip the introspective part because you're like, okay, that didn't work for me. I'm done with that. That didn't work for me. But when you settle down and you really get in there with somebody, you stop looking at them so much because you know that they're there and you have to look at you. And they start to mirror you too. Like a lot of people go through twin flame relationships, that is not what this video is about. If y'all want me to make a video about that, I can. And number 3, stop coming to the internet, even though here we are. Stop coming to the internet for relationship advice. Okay? I know it sounds counterproductive for what I'm doing here, but when you're like in a real conflict that needs resolution, go to your partner first. The very first thing you do in a conflict or in a problem is go to the source. Why are you running to the internet, running to your mama, running to your daddy, everybody but who is within the relationship with you? run to him or her first. Like first. Because it's probably, one, the situation is probably smaller than you think. Two, there was probably some miscommunication. Or three, you're actually the problem. And your triggers are showing. And you know what I'm saying? If you need to just discuss something with, like, just to get some outside advice to see if you're tripping, okay, maybe. Like, if you know it's small. But when it comes to really big things, don't Google it. Don't ask anyone. Talk to them first. You probably save yourself a lot of headaches. Because being comfortable in delusion, sometimes being comfortable in delusion is real. Like delulality, delulality is real. Snap out of it, okay? And number 4, communication, period, is, period, everything, period. That is the statement. Number 5, if y'all are arguing very often within the first month of being together, y'all probably aren't compatible. Hate to, but let me hold your hands when I tell you this. Y'all are probably not compatible. Okay? Okay? Like, give us a few years, give us a year, give us 6 months. If shit starts getting a little rocky, okay. But the first few months, hang it up, babe. Just break up. There are too many people who will click so much better with you. Everyone shows up for things they value. They will if they want to. I know you probably hear that all the time. If they want to, they will. And if they can't show up in whatever ways that you need, like due to whatever circumstances, then move on. It's a matter of, can you deal with this long term? At the end, and that's what it boils all down to. And that brings me to my next and final point. Okay, this is a big one. Stay with me. Assume a person will not change. Okay, stay with me. It's a bit complex. Assume a person will not change. Then assess that quality and see if you can put up with that forever. No one is perfect, of course. We're all flawed. And only you know your person's family upbringing, living situation, finances, to be able to weed out if their behavior is warranted or for what they're going through. You know, only you can do that part. But be realistic. Start asking yourself, would you do this to them? Would someone who really, 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 really loved you, family, friend, whatever, do this to you? Assess how it really makes you feel and take your time. Don't rush nothing. Be patient. Like, just be patient with yourself, because it really is a matter of, will this work? Take your time, but be intentional. Like, set a date. Be like, by this date, I will know this thing. I will expect this to happen by this time. But there's a caveat to this one. Communicate even this with your partner. So if you're taking this time, if you're trying to figure it out, if you want them to change and they're not, but, you know, let them know. Like, make sure you let them know before you even start this process, because then it's really for nothing. You're doing all this internal stuff and you're not even letting them know, like, hey, that's a big problem. I feel like we have a lot of conversations up here and not a lot of conversations out here. And it'd probably just be a lot easier if you just talk to them, let them know they're not mind readers. Don't blindside your partner. They might not even know. Something that bothered you, something that triggered you, they might not even know. So just be open, honest, open that line of communication, and set the intention. Like, I want to work with you, or else I wouldn't even have brought it up. Okay? So yeah, that's just 5, 4, 5, 6. I think it's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I just wanted to come on here and give y'all tips from a hopeless romantic. Somebody who, like, thought it could never, and it did. Fairy tale ending, girl. Okay? Love you. Kisses. I came to y'all in the bonnet. Y'all know what that means? We go together.